Hey guys, happy Algos in 10 season 3 episode 8. As you can see, right now I'm doing al fresco. It's a beautiful day outside here in Mass. And actually a quick update. So I'll be moving over to the Kissimmee, Florida area in about 2.5 months. So it's going to be a bit of a change once we meet in the finale of this season. Once we get past the Halloween, I'll be taking my talents over to South Beach, just like LeBron and Brady. Anyway, I had a fantastic birthday. Thank you so much, guys, for everybody who subscribed, everybody who liked my videos. And honestly, it's really nice to learn these materials for Algos in 10, like in terms of different applications of computer science, data science, now even web design and development, and cloud computing. So as a special thank you, and also as a great opportunity to now celebrate, yes, 100 videos on my channel and a fair amount of comments and subscribers and likes, I have to present with you guys a beautiful, beautiful gift featuring the very own Apple's this Series 7 watch. That's right, midnight blue. A midnight 45 millimeters. Very sexy little watch with calculators, with a phone, with various gadgets. So you can see this is like a fantastic Apple Series watch. And luckily today is tax-free days, so you could buy it however you want, which is amazing. Without further ado, here is now my belated birthday special for Algos in 10, Season 3, Episode 8, and Feet Sia's Unstoppable. Like and subscribe. So let's get rolling. So yeah, since this episode is outdoors, bear with me with the Wi-Fi. It's going to be a bit slower than usual, so don't dislike the video if the Wi-Fi is too slow. It's first world problems right now with things going on in Taiwan and China and Ukraine, Russia. Be grateful I could even have this Wi-Fi at all, basically. Anyways, this is the Kubernetes and cloud computing birthday special. I originally decided to make it a little bit more fancier for this episode, like Master Chef and Master App, but I found very quickly it's not necessary because it's just too much effort. And also with the move out season and everything and my certification work for work and a bunch of family stuff going on, I think it's just been too much. So I decided to pare it down to just a birthday celebration. Man's turning hex 0x1b or 27. I'm getting old, guys. I may not look like 27, but I am 27. In like probably a decade, go find a partner and have marriage, basically. Anyway, before the happy moment, I'm going to kubectl apply -f bakecake.yaml. So the first part is going to be the frosting of the so-called cake. So we have something called a React generator for the cake. So there's something called the React generator. So if I click on here, sorry, I'll move my camera. If I click on here, the React generator, Cake 3000, it's basically a beautiful application I built using CodePen. I made HTML coding for the cake generator. I made CSS to make the cake generator be my favorite colors, which happen to also be ironically colors of Santorini, Greece, and the color of, well, my favorite two colors in the world, blue and white. And of course, I have some JavaScript to animate the cake, which will be very clever soon. But I don't want to spoil you guys too much, so I'm going to go for the episode bit by bit. So yes, we begin with the most intricate part, the frosting. To understand what's the color of the frosting, hint, azul, line, color of the ocean. So I already basically spoiled it for you. Solve this Kubernetes riddle for CRD, which is called custom resource definition. We want to create a custom resource definition with the definition of a resource, custom resource that has the name of the color of the ocean and cron spec image replicas with data type that's of the hello world. Since this is not a CK80 exam, tricky question or a legit question, I'm not violating CK80 guidelines. We can just go to the Kubernetes docs for this. So if I pull up the Kubernetes docs, I can show you what a CRD looks like. Give me one moment. Now, this is a relatively new thing in Kubernetes, is custom resource definition. It's basically like a cross between a secret, which will be for the next episode, Among Us, and service, which will be like in the finale for Spider-Verse. So it's a custom resource that's an extension of the Kubernetes API. So in the real Kubernetes world, you basically have different types of Kubernetes like gadgets, and this is one of them. So for the episode, we're going to basically use a Kubernetes resource template code. But since I don't want to be plagiarizing Kubernetes.io, I already have a bash written for me. So all I have to do is the following: grep crd. And of course, that's me if I was just 21 years old, I'd just simply, be wasting my computer memory. I have a much better idea. That way I could get the pods that I need from kubectl. If that does not work, I could just do it the old-fashioned way and just copy something here. So there you go. I have crd resource.yaml here. And yes, the stupid wheel of death is rolling, which is unfortunate, but we do have opportunities to do better for the episode. So first I'm gonna make a copy of this, and I'm gonna name this thing actually bakecake.yaml for the episode. Yeah, I'll do bakecake.yaml. So I'm now going to actually have my screen go to the terminal for screen share. There you go. So from the terminal, I have the following. I want to be able to do the specs of the episode correctly. So from the terminal, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to first change this API definition a little bit from a cron tab to a custom resource. So the cron spec is actually going to be not per 5 minutes, I mean actually per minute. And the image is not all my awesome cron image, it's gonna be actually my birthday cake color. And that's gonna be the first step we change for this Kubernetes episode. The next thing I do is I look at CRD again. So this time I'm gonna make a copy of a CRD.yaml. I'll make it CRD birthday.yaml. Then I VI CRD birthday. This is gonna be a little bit more involved. So for CRD.birthday YAML, I basically changed the name and everything. So I go all the way down to here. So data type hello world is all fine. Hello world is a string, so that's all fine. Integer also all fine. Everything else is good, 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 good. Uh-oh, here I gotta change. So maximum is no longer gonna be 10, it's gonna be 15 here. And then the singular cron tab CT is all good. So how do I get the color blue here? Well, let me show you. I'm going to do another thing with the cron spec. So I'm going to do another thing here. I'm going to add in 3 dashes to represent Kubernetes pod on top of this thing. So A, 3 dash, I'm going to make a pod object. So I'm going to go back to Kubernetes thing, get a pod definition. So what's one nice thing about the CRD is you can like basically link the pod with regards to the YAML. So that's like really good. And actually for a development environment, that's very good because you can basically run the pod while running the CRD for the YAML. So that's very good. All right. I'll copy this. And I told you guys the Wi-Fi is pretty slow, so bear with me. Still beats university Wi-Fi, you know? Those things are even slower. So here we go. Boom. So here's the YAML. I'm going to change a bunch of stuff. First of all, not Nginx, blue. Second of all, Nginx is fine. 8080 port. There you go. And actually, before I finish, I have to do the following. So I have to do a command. So I have to do a command here, actually, to make sure I could write blue. I'm gonna go back here and write command arguments. So good news about Kubernetes, since you can basically copy everything for like a container, you don't really have to rewrite the wheel all the time. It's pretty easy to do. So I'm gonna reenact the command here. Command, echo here, obviously. And then args is going to be blue colored cake. Yep, let's see if this even works. So kubectl apply -f crd birthday. Please work, please work, please work. Fantastic. It is my birthday last week. It worked. So you can now actually also kubectl describe pod blue. It'll basically tell you how the pod is built. No errors. Fantastic. This is beautiful. So there you go. That's the first part of the episode. Now we get to part B, which is a little more mathy, if you know what I mean. So for part B, we have the unstoppable cake layers. We're making out cake layers, baby. So to get the flavors of each layer, we have to first do some resource quota work. So we're gonna write resource quota that's limits between 100 MI and 300 MI, which is a Kubernetes way of measuring memory. And also add in a Kubernetes secret that is encrypted to this long ass string and this string as well. And we have to write two pods with echo flavor 1 is echo flavor 2 is commands respectively. And then we got to use Kubernetes secret to decrypt the two layers, two flavors of each layer. This is the biggest part of the episode, so let's take it step by step. So here's the first easy part. We do resource quota. So I go back and share my terminal screen to do resource quota work. And make this thing a little bit bigger so it's not so hard to see. There we go. Actually do even better. Put here and put it here. There we go. So ls again. So resource limit, perfect. So I'm gonna copy a resource limit here. I'll name it resource birthday, the YAML. Whoops. I gotta be careful here, resource limit.yaml. All right, then vi resource birthday, the YAML. So the episode required you to make this thing, let me see, to make this thing 100 and 300. Okay, that's not a problem. So the limits for the memory is going to be 100 minimum. So you don't worry about CPU. CPU is not going to change. And 300 maximum. All right, so that basically changes that. We do have to rename the resource to, instead of Redis, to be birthday. And the name should be birthday instead, mesh labels. So that's all good. And then we go back to the episode. We gotta then have encryption. So we gotta do an encryption here. Encryption is a fairly new concept in Kubernetes and is based on base 64. So like SHA-256, base 64. Now, before we get too much into crypto and, the good RSAs type of stuff, I'd rather review a little bit of basic encryption. So I'm gonna go to the whiteboard now for first time this episode. So this gets to a basic introductory crypto. Speaking of crypto, the Lakers changed their stadium to crypto.com. Not sure if I like that. And everybody has now respect Bill Russell for the Celtics. Sad, I know, Bill Russell died. But life goes on. Anyway, you have something called a diffie-hellman exchange for crypto. And that's how Kubernetes sort of works. So let's say I'm trying to DM to my quote unquote partner a message, right? So this is me, and this is my partner. Of course, we want to make it private because it's intimate. So I'm going to have a little bit of a change of pink here, actually. So I'm going to share, for example, message, and this is encrypted. So I don't know, XE6E5D4A2C, whatever. It's in hex. So the diffie-hellman exchange works like this. I encrypt this thing using that. So I do one message called encrypt message. And this is a shout out to my boy Sajag. Congratulations on your new job and also getting strong, bro. I also loved your episode and your master's degree Northeastern guides. Very awesome, Sajaj. Shout out to you, bro. And also to my boy Victor Sun for Northeastern. And to my friends at my master's degree. Learning cryptography with you guys is fantastic for co-op and like different types of work. So you use an encryption function called encrypt message. Now, I want to be careful here. Let's say I have another person who I don't like that much and is a rather nuisancey person. And X, I don't like this person. So I don't want the X DMing me or my partner inappropriately, of course. If I talk in millennial speak, do not direct message inappropriately. So I have to do something with the X, right? So I show another decryption to the X that she says, encrypt X, message again. So encrypt X is different than encryption because you have a different hash value. Now here's what gets fun. The partner then tries to decrypt it back to me. Some changes to red. Maybe I should make it a little bit thicker actually. Yeah, I'm gonna make it thicker. There you go, that's better, yep. And format's not that thick anyways. All right, so change it back to red. And for this one, I have to decrypt. So decrypt the message. And of course, the message after decryption would then become a new message. So the message becomes, I love you, right? So how did this little gibberish of 6E, 5D, 4A, 2C becomes I love you? Well, that's where diffie-hellman comes in. Diffie-hellman has something called prime modulo, which shout out to my professors, Olga Lepsky and Professor Olga Lepsky, who actually retired from BU, and my other amazing professor from BU 350, Professor Addis Abawala, who taught us in computer systems and also some computer algorithms, how the diffie-hellman exchange works, and also Professor Byers as well. They did a great job teaching me this stuff, and that really helped in my Northeastern co-op and also right now my work for UHG, because security is super important. You don't want any data being compromised between small clients and like different groups. You want to be careful with that. So that's enough chitter chatter about crypto, that's good stuff. Let's actually get some coding done. So let's get back to the terminal. So how to encrypt this bad boy? Well, let me show you. I first use something called a secret. So I'm going to actually make a copy of a secret user pass. Whoops. I'm gonna make a secret birthday date YAML. I'm gonna VI the secret birthday date YAML. All right, so username and password is all gibberish right now, which is not great. So I'm gonna do the following. I'm going to actually instead do echo -n and then this big ass string here, this thingy. So this is like an encryption key basically, base 64. Whoops, how do I do this again? Sorry, so if I don't remember this, I actually have to be careful. So I had to do echo command base 64. So I want to basically encode with base 64 from the command line how to do this. And this is very simple actually. Got it. No space. All right, so I encrypted that good thing over there, base 64. Now for the purpose of the episode, I'm gonna actually encrypt the varied word, one of the flavors, which is this. So I encrypted that. Also encrypted another flavor, which is this. So now I encrypted both buttercream and chocolate for the episode. So if I go back to the episode now, the episode talks about basically two pods, pod flavor 1, pod flavor 2, the YAML with echo flavors. So I go back and encrypt those things as well. So I got to go back to my terminal. And let's see, what did I create? Blue? Yep. All right, so I'm going to actually change the following. So I'm going to CP birthday. CP birthday. Oh, sorry, CP CRD birthday YAML. There we go. And turn this into pod1 flavor.yaml. So this is the first flavor of the cakes we're using. So you do pod1 flavor.yaml here. And I go all the way down here to my pod. So I'm gonna make instead echo, not blue colored cake, the first flavor of the cake, which I love, which is buttercream. I'm gonna change the cake from blue to buttercream, for example. I now make this thing, pod1 flavor.yaml. I kubectl to apply that. And this will take a little bit of time, so bear with me. While this thing waits, I want to talk a little bit about what happens when you don't use the correct pod. If you use an unexisting pod, not only will the pod not compile for Kubernetes, your CRD also will fail. So you have to be very careful here. You want to make sure both the pod and CRD work for this to work. Just pod 2, vi pod 2. And pod 2 is pretty simple, just changes to chocolate. If you're not a big chocolate fan, that's okay. I also have vanilla and like mocha and different types of cake. It's not a big deal. I also have gluten-free flavors. So my cake has like quite a few things to actually use. Yeah, so it's pod 2.yaml. There you go, pod chocolate. So now we actually get to decrypt the two flavors. So how we be able to decrypt this thing? Okay, you decrypt it by using something that you use something to decrypt it, right? So you want to use a decryption file here. There we go, my secrets pod environment. So I'm going to copy over this YAML from there. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to decrypt both the buttercream and the chocolate. My buttercream.yaml. Oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted. My buttercream.yaml, there we go. So it's not called DB user, it's called DB user pass, yes. And the key is not username anymore. It's going to be something different. So I'm going to change it from username to flavor1. The password will still stay the same. So I'm going to need to do another copy from the pods over here. So you can see this is a pretty convoluted episode to work with secrets. So this is why I spent such a long time like building this episode. All right, there we go. That works. So here's where the fun begins. It doesn't work, does it? That means our encryption works. Because we changed everything from the original to the new, the whole thing goes kaput. So we have to now change that back to username. This is why you know this thing works, because everything else completely just goes, like it's like the cake being smattered in half. It does not work. So now we have everything else working, pod environment secret unchanged. We can now get the secrets and passwords. So therefore buttercream and chocolate are the two flavors, and that ends part 2. That's a good security check from that part. All right, finally some math. Part 3, the topping. For each topping, solve this related puzzle for some modular arithmetic. So we got a problem called the Chinese Remainder Theorem. And no, this is not from a Chinese mathematician. I get the Chinese remainder jokes. It's basically MasterChef parody. So let me do my best Gordon Ramsay. We have tonight the most amazing topping, decadent flavors of the most amazing mystery flavor. For the first serving of the flavor, we have 1 cup of mystery flavor to 3 cups sugar. For the second serving of the flavor, we have 4 cups of mystery flavor to 5 cups heavy cream. For the third and final serving of the flavor, we have 6 cups of mystery flavor to 7 cups of buttermilk. You'll have just 3 minutes to solve this equation. Whoever solves this equation the best will have a huge advantage in the elimination round. Your 3 minutes starts now. And yes, I will actually time myself to do this in 3 minutes. So let's do that, shall we? Yeah, I'll get a timer app for this actually. So I'm gonna time myself exactly 3 minutes to solve this problem. That's it. That's all you're gonna get. No, not 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Begin. So for this episode, I'm gonna quickly solve the problem here. So the problem essentially is set up like this. It's x congruent to a mod n. So we have an example here. So this is related to the problem we solve in our episode. So let me just quickly share the whiteboard within this 3 minutes to solve the congruence. So we can do a new whiteboard. Yeah, sure. Oh yes, new whiteboard, sorry. And we can do the following. So now we can make a congruence here. So congruence is the following. We have the following. And since I can't do 3 stacks easily in 3 minutes, I'm just gonna do a set. So x equals 1 mod 3. I actually changed the variable. C equals 1 mod 3. C also equals 4 mod 5, so related to the episode, and 6 mod 7. So you want to use the brilliant.org math and computer science website to do this. So first part of modular arithmetic, you want to be able to substitute, right? So you want to be able to begin with the largest modulus. So begin with largest modulus. So you want to do, for example, C equals, I don't know, 7b plus 6, and then substitute. So C equals 7b plus 6 equal to 4 mod 5, right? That's the first step you want to do. The next step you want to do is solve a congruence. So you want to solve, for example, j equals 4, right? 4 mod 5. So you want to do, for example, a equals 5e plus 4 for some integer e. Then you want to back substitute here. And I'm running out of space already, sorry. So you want to back substitute here. And I'm already running out of space. Yikes. This is why I don't do timed competitions. So I'm back substitute here. Yeah, sure. When back substitute here, so we have, what is it? C equals 7 times what was E? 5E plus 4 plus 6, which of course becomes 35E plus 34. They want to solve for the final congruence here. And for the final congruence, you want to be able to do the following. You want to basically make a 3L, right? So I'm going to skip a couple steps here to solve the final congruence. So for the final congruence, I'm going to skip a couple of steps. I'm going to instead do the following. I'm not going to have k equals to 3L because that's rather stupid. I'm going to have instead, oh yes, I got it. So I'm going to have instead 3E go here. So I'm going to have, for example, F equals to 3E again. And then because of that, I'm going to be able to basically have x equals 105F plus 34. So I'm gonna have C equals to 105F plus 34 here. And if you can't see this, well, it's because my Zoom screen is being a little stupid here. So I'm gonna add another line. C equals to 105F plus 34. And finally, solve the congruence where C equals 34 mod 105. And of course, 34 in terms of my flavor from Wegmans is going to be the most amazing flavor. For the topping, the most amazing flavor is going to be actually buttermilk. So there you have it. There's the final flavor, and now I can finally build a cake. So after a whole afternoon's worth of congruence, math, and nerdy stuff, we can finally do some stuff here. So we can finally start building the cake and end this long episode. So I go back to the episode, and I've solved this in like about 3 minutes and a half, not terrible. So I go back and go to the cake reactor generator 3000, and yes, happy belated birthday to me. So I wrap up this episode with the cake generator. Yes, so react cake generator. So I put in my inputs. All right, so frosting, I put in blue. And it's all lowercase, it's not capital letters. Cake layer 1, I put in buttercream. Cake layer 2, I put in chocolate. And topping, I put in buttermilk. And now let the magic begin. I say in Zelda. Da 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 da. There we go. There's my birthday cake. Happy belated birthday to me, Jason Junsheng Lu. Like and subscribe to Algos in 10, Season 3, Episode 8. Next episode, which will be around the Labor Day weekend, we'll be talking about Among Us. Hope you're not going to be sus back then. See you and have a good night.